What kind of quality, right? So, is there a time maybe you would go with the 50 guy?
Yeah.
If the 30 guy was gonna cut corners, right, do a shoddy job, it might be worth paying the 50. So the city of Malden will look at all the proposals, and it might be things like the Marriott Corporation, who does school food. So they may come in and put a bid in, and there are others, Chartwell, which is another big school food service, they'll come in and put a bid. The city will review all of those bids and then select one. And then that company will be responsible for redoing, I think, all of the food services for the entire city of Malden. Which means, I think, you will see some new menu items next year. I think you will see some new salad bar items, some new food items, meat items, vegetable items. However, whether we do it ourselves or whether an outside company does it, what do we have to adhere to all the time? Say that again? The rules and the laws. So there are rules and laws that say when you buy a lunch of chicken, it has to weigh a certain amount, has to have so many pieces on it, it has to have a vegetable attached to it, it has to have a fruit attached to it. How many people do you know, right? They make you take the milk at breakfast, and people leave the milks all over the cafeteria tables. They make you take the whole thing. So there are rules and regulations you have to adhere to. But why would a company want to bid on the food services? What do they think they can do?
Make it more appetizing.
Okay, they make it more appetizing, but why would a company want to make it more appetizing for you? Why is any company going to bid on this? What are they in the business of? Say it.
Money.
Money. So they're going to make money, right? How are they going to make money? Selling the lunches. So if they sell better lunches, they'll sell more lunches, right? What else possibly would a company do to make money? In addition to selling better food, making better food, maybe getting better prices for the food they buy, how else would a company make money?
They could promote themselves.
Promote themselves, and maybe you folks, maybe there'd be food items that you haven't bought all year, but when you see the new items next year, wow, I'm going to buy that. So they could promote themselves. But how else do you cut costs? Because when you cut costs and your profit goes higher, right? How do you cut costs, though? Lower food portions, although remember, you're sort of guided by laws, but that's a good one. So if you take off a half an ounce of chicken from 1,000 chicken meals a day times 180 days, I don't know, that might be enough to save the company $50,000 in a school year in chicken. How else do you cut costs? Think business. How do you cut costs?
Some people raise the price.
So it could be raising the price. You may actually see your prices go up next year. And their argument will be, hey, we're giving you better food, but it's going to cost you more money. How do you cut costs, though? These 4 guys are working in my cafeteria. I want my profits to go up. Mr. O'Farrell's told you already. What?
Fire them.
Well, do I have to fire? I need somebody to cook my lunch and
Fire 3.
Pay them less.
pay them less,
That too.
fire a couple of them, or lay them off. So these are all possibilities from any new company that comes in. If they want, a company is not coming in to take over the lunches at Malden High School so that they can feel better about giving you a better lunch. No company is doing that. Companies are coming in because they're looking at, hey, you know, if we took over the kitchen at Malden High School, we could make profit, $225,000 a year to the company. Profit. Wow, that's a lot of money. They're in it to make money. They're in it because it's a business. How do you make money? Raise your food prices, lay off staff, promote better products, sell more of what you're selling. That's how you make more money. Other questions?
How do we get our lunch?
From who do you get your lunch?
Yeah.
The actual food, the sources of the food? So are you asking, where do we get the chicken that we buy?
Is it real chicken?
Is it real chicken?
I think that the food that we get here is worse than food you get at Taco Bell.
Ew.
That's just what.
That's if you eat at Taco Bell.
Have you eaten the
Yeah.
food here?
Yeah.
Have you eaten the food at Taco Bell?
Yeah.
Alright, which one's better?
I don't know.
Taco Bell?
Each one is, they're equally bad and equally good.
So what makes the food
Equally
here,
bad and
what makes the
equally good.
chicken here bad?
Is that like real chicken?
It's like this big.
As opposed to what?
Like real chicken?
Little chicken.
I've never, I honestly have never had fake chicken.
Oh, you are not missing
Okay,
anything.
so is the chicken that we get like from a live chicken?
From a live chicken? Well, most chickens are dead when they cut off the meat. I'm just having fun with you. So chicken is chicken, but like anything else, you can buy higher quality chicken. How do you buy higher quality chicken? What's it gonna do?
It's gonna make it more expensive.
It's gonna make it more expensive.
What do you mean high quality?
Like the chicken that we buy
So
when we eat.
if I go to eat in Boston at a place called, I don't know,
Fahrenheit.
Capitol Grill for my steak, right? I have gone into Capitol Grill. I had a gift certificate, thank goodness, because my wife and I had a lovely anniversary meal there.
Oh.
And when I looked at the bill, this is for like everybody sitting here? No, that's just for you and your wife. For a week? No, just for what you ate right now. What? 80 some odd dollars for a steak at Capitol Grill in Boston. Luckily, I had a big piece for my anniversary. Now, the steak you get there, they will claim, is a much higher quality steak than you're gonna get at Two Paisans, right? Because Two Paisans isn't charging you $84 for a steak. It's different quality of meat. It's different portions of meat. So schools buy from commodity folks, right? They buy large bulk bananas, oranges, salad, lettuce, right? They buy in huge bulk to save money. But sometimes when you save money, you lose quality. Not all the time, but sometimes. So there is a federal government system that supplies all schools with food. So my guess is the string beans that come out of a can that they serve when they do the turkey luncheon with potatoes, and the string beans that come out of the can are the same
tragic.
string beans for every high school in Massachusetts, because they're all buying them from the same commodities place.
So they're not
So, what happens to all the soda and stuff? Is that just because?
Federal government rules and regulations. We can no longer sell Pepsi, Coke in schools.
because Michelle Obama, right?
No, this happened well before Michelle Obama.
How often does a school receive food from other companies?
They get deliveries almost every morning. And I know because when I pull up, there are these, 40-foot, 50-foot, 60-foot, huge trailers of cases and cases and cases of food coming off. And think about it, they feed 1,600, 1,700 students every day in the cafeterias. So think of the quantity of food they have to get ready every day, breakfast and lunch. You may not like it, but you have to appreciate how much food they turn over every day. Breakfast, 500 to 700 kids eat every morning. Lunch, 15, 16, 1,700 kids eat lunch every day. That's a lot. What else? Somebody from over here. Here or here? You haven't said much. You love the lunches here? They're not bad, right? I like the salad bar, to me, is fantastic.
Is there any way for like students to get involved when we have lunch?
Sure. How would you like to get involved?
Like having, like, we should be able to, like, say what we want that day for,
That day?
or like,
So you want to be able to order off a menu like a restaurant, right? Why not? Right? So here's why not. I'm running the kitchen downstairs at Mullen High School. Today is Monday. Today our choices are popcorn chicken, pizza, meatloaf. So I make X hundreds of these, X hundreds of these, X hundreds of these. That's all. And then we have our salad bar. Imagine 1,500 kids coming in every day to the cafeteria. And we couldn't do it at lunchtime. We'd have to fill in a slip in homeroom every morning. I'll take the chicken, salad, mashed potatoes, stuffing. Orange? No, I'll take an apple instead of an orange. I'll take chocolate milk, and then you hand your slip into the homeroom teacher. They collect them, and the kitchen gets 1,600 pieces of paper with all of the choices of kids want. It's impossible.
Hire more people.
Hire more people. Then what happens to the cost of your lunches?
Goes
They
down.
go down. They go up. I just gotta hire 50 more people to buy what you want for lunch. So your prices are gonna skyrocket.
But what if you get free?
What, say that again?
What if you get free lunch?
You may get less. The portions may have to get smaller, because we're trying to save money. I just had to hire
But
more
that's
people.
not our fault.
Whose fault is it? You guys wanna order whatever you wanna order every day.
But we
My
didn't
brain
make that
hurts.
rule.
You didn't what?
We didn't make that rule.
He just did.
It's a
Yeah,
Dennis
just
about.
we-
Dennis should
Everyone
pay.
has to agree.
I don't have to agree to it. I need to agree to something that works for everybody, not just for a few people. So imagine going to the cafeteria every day and ordering like you would at a restaurant. You only have 30 minutes to eat. Could take them 30 minutes to get you your lunch, right? If you're gonna order something. I don't see it up there, but I know you guys have it somewhere in the back room. I'll have pizza. Well, we don't really have any pizza. That's all right, I'll wait till you cook it. I don't like English anyway, so. Impossible. So they give you 4 items to choose from every day. Now, maybe you could get involved with a new company and say, how come we never have blah, blah, blah? And the company could say, that's a great idea. We've never thought about that. I've always thought, and I might be wrong, but our first lunch is at 10:45, right? I think kids would love to have pancakes, bacon, French toast, waffles at 10:45. If you had first lunch,
You know how in
kids would have
there's
breakfast
not
at
enough
first
food?
lunch. Anyone
Say
agree?
that.
Okay, so there's some hands, right? Not every day,
Crystal,
but once in a while, wouldn't that be good as a choice?
you know
Maybe
how
that's how
people
you
have
could
board
get.
lunch? You know,
We have
like there's
pizza, how
not
many
enough
days a
food?
week can you get pizza in the cafe?
Does that ever happen?
What-
to you?
which kind?
Like when you
Every
go
day.
for lunch?
What's that?
No, because they have the Bosco pizza. Well, they don't actually have that anymore. But they used to have the Bosco pizza.
So maybe you could get involved with the type of pizza.
So we can get involved with the type of food we get, we just can't do anything
Crystal,
about
are
how
you
we
gonna
get
say it? Oh, okay.
So I'm confused about the question of how we get our food.
That's like,
That question is stumping me. I'm not understanding what the question means, or, when you say, how do we get our food? What,
like how we said the whole, we order the food, like that's what I mean by how we get it, like how we.
yeah, you could influence a new company to offer, let's say everybody, do we ever have macaroni and cheese downstairs?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's say people
is
say,
wrong.
how come we never
It's
have,
bad.
does anyone like homemade macaroni and cheese, by the way? Raise your hand if you like. Not the craft stuff out of the box, but who likes homemade, right? Me too. So maybe you could influence a
So
new
bad.
company to say, wouldn't it be nice if one day a week we had macaroni and cheese as one of the options? They may say, hey, we never thought about it, that's a great idea. We're gonna start offering macaroni and cheese one day a week. You could get involved at that level. You couldn't get involved at the level of walking up to the window every day. let's see, today I'll have a medium well cheeseburger, no fries, but I will have the clam chowder. You can't do that, not for 1,700 students. So you could influence some of the daily choices, you definitely couldn't walk up there every day and come up with something new.
Is there any rules about who can obtain lunch?
Great question. We're having some problems in Malden with who can obtain lunch. And let me tell you what the issues are. And I don't need a show of hands, but we have students in this room who pay for lunch. We have students in this room who get a free lunch, and we have students in this room who pay what's called reduced. So that's somewhere between free and pay, right? So you have free, reduced, and pay. Sometimes, students who have to pay for their lunch or are on reduced lunch go up to the window and get their lunch, and then go up to the cash lady, cash register, and say, I don't have any money today. Okay, no problem, and then your ID pops up, your picture pops up. They add that cost, and you have a running bill. And as a matter of fact, some of our seniors can't graduate this year until they pay off that running bill. What? No student at Malden High School has ever graduated without paying off their CAF bill, ever. But the problem is, some kids run up CAF bills of $2.25. Okay, great. I can come up with the $2.25 before I graduate. Some kids run up CAF bills of $50, $60, $70, $80, $100.
How? You know, like some kids, like they told me that.
They don't let you
can
get-
order, like,
Yeah, brother,
$20,
this was
but whenever I
$20.
go there, I can't go higher than 5. I don't get like.
Maybe they're not treating, maybe they're treating you differently. Are you treating them well?
What does that have to do with?
Because at Malden High School, we really truly have a policy that no one can go, if you want a lunch, you can get a lunch. No matter whether you owe $0 or $100, you will get a lunch.
They say that I can't get it because like I can't go higher than 5 and I think it's my lunch back. That's
Come find me when that happens.
I'm not.
All right. Now, on the other hand, okay, and I'm not saying this is you, but on the other hand, and this is where my conservative Republican side comes in. If you're paying $55 a month for a phone bill, and you're buying a new pair of $100 sneakers every month, pay your friggin' lunch bill. You feeling me, everybody? Do you know kids like that? Yeah, everybody raise their hand, shake their head, say, yeah, I know kids like that. Pay your lunch bill. Right. You're wearing better sneakers than I ever owned. Your plan is much better than mine. Pay the $4. All right, that's my rant for the day. What else you got, Vanessa?
One thing I thought about was that usually in fourth lunch, sometimes the food runs out,
Great.
which
So that's
is
a great
something
point.
that I
So-
think that's a problem.
So again, how else could you get involved? Vanessa brings up a great point. If you're the poor dude who has fourth lunch, right, and today's macaroni and cheese day, and yet you get to fourth lunch and there's no more macaroni and cheese, how do you get screwed just because you got fourth lunch? It's not your choice you had fourth lunch. We tell you what to do. So where you could get involved with a new company is some of the selections we want for next year. And we want to make sure that whether you have first lunch or fourth lunch, there's enough to go around every day.
Is there any way we could change the time that we go to lunch?
That's possible, a lot harder. Right now, it's a contractual item with the agreement with the Malden Teachers Association. And the earliest lunchtime that we can offer is 10:45. When I first got here 11 years ago, we had 2 lunches, and they were something like 22 minutes long, I think.
All right, my high school we had like a 23.
Yeah, I think they were 22 minutes long, and there were 2 lunches when I got here. And then after a couple of years, I realized 2 lunches was crazy. Kids weren't eating at all, so we offered a 3rd lunch, and then a few years ago, we offered a 4th lunch. And they're still crowded sometimes.
Yeah.
But we also increased them to 30 minutes. But we would have to go back to the union and negotiate that we want the lunches either earlier or later. Now, the thing with going later is, if you start at 11 o'clock, right? 11 to 11:30, 11:30 to 12, 12 to 12:30, then the last kid's eating, I'm eating to 12:30, they're going 12:30 to 1, in another hour you're getting out of school, so. It's, you have to find that balance of what's too early, what's too late. And right now, some students are coming into the cafeteria in the morning, 6 o'clock, 6:30, 7, so by 10:45 I know I'm hungry by 10:45 in the morning. There's a question over here.
At my old school in Cookville, for our lunch, we let the whole school out, like an hour. Like 95% of the kids that want to get lunch, they're done in 30 minutes.
Right. So we have, you know, at Malden High School, we have something called off-campus lunch, although I've seen you sneak out and you don't have senior privilege. But that's another, we'll address that at a later time. Cameras work wonders at Malden High School. So you have senior privilege, and if you do the right thing over the next couple of years, by the time you're a senior, you can go to New York Pizza, you can go to Dunkin' Donuts at lunchtime for 30 minutes and bring it back.
Why can't only seniors go?
We came with an agreement with the school committee that it would be for seniors only. We don't want to let every student in Malden High School leave at lunchtime. It's too big of a liability, safety issues. We don't want kids crossing the street. If I let 1,800 students leave every day at lunchtime, it would be a disaster. We didn't have cafeterias at Malden High School when I was a student here. This building wasn't here. The Holland building wasn't here. It was the Jenkins building plus an old red brick building that stood right here. In that old red brick building, there were no cafeterias. There's no cafeteria in the Brunelli Jenkins building. So every day at lunch, 1,800 students could do whatever they want at lunchtime. It was a disaster. For obvious reasons, because students would leave at lunch, not come back. Many occasions. Yes.
Why was the GPA thing, or like your average, put into consideration this year for seniors?
It's been in there since the beginning. Yeah, it's a school committee policy. It's not a Malden High policy. The school committee voted on it. It had to be negotiated with Malden Food Services. Why do you think Food Services was worried about 400 seniors getting senior privilege? What were they worried about?
Loss of profit.
Loss of profit. If the seniors take all their business off campus, food service profit goes down. Now, when do you think senior privilege is not very popular? Winter. Nobody goes out. Or very few seniors go out December, January, February, especially on those cold, bitter days. And so profits go up a little bit. September and October, April and May, lot of seniors leave for lunch. And you'll notice, beginning of the year, end of the year, calf crowds are much more manageable if you have lunch with a lot of seniors. What else you got for me?
Do you have issues with seniors coming back on time?
Yes, we do. And sometimes seniors lose their privileges. Like a young man that I caught today lost his privileges for this week. Yeah, it was, well,
Did he cry?
what's that?
Did he cry?
No, he didn't cry. He gave me one. Come on, man. Yeah, one of those. I cut him a break. I cut him a major break 2 weeks ago. And then,
Cut me a break?
have I ever cut you a break? Yeah.
I'm still here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Arfield.
Wait.
What else? One more question. One more, and then I have to go down.
Can we ask this?
Go ahead, ask. Wow.
What's the average funding for,
That's Spanish school food,
What is the
average funding.
for?
school budgets?
There is no There is no funding. So the school lunch program is separate from the Malden Public Schools. It's separate from the city of Malden. The school lunch program has to run on what they sell versus what they spend. So that's why the cafeteria staff sometimes gets really heated about students who don't pay their bill, because if more and more students don't pay their bills, they'll have to lay off people working in the cafeteria.
No wonder they're like.
And I know a lot of nice people working in the cafeterias. It's a good job for them. They need the money. So they don't get, the city of Malden doesn't give our food services people money. They say, you want to run food service? Make a profit. Charge money, keep your costs down, make a profit. So if your costs go too high and your proceeds come in under that, and you start losing money, you run out of business. You'll be in trouble. Anything else? Okay, I hope I was able to answer some of your questions, Mr. O'Farrell.
I have one question.
Sure thing, sir.
Can students open some sort of, like cafe, like, student-run coffee shop or something like that?
It's funny you asked that, Mr. O'Farrell. We're looking for, see that those kids coming right through the parking lot right now? That kid wouldn't have off-campus privilege.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Jesus Christ himself was principal and forgave everybody. That kid would not have off-campus.
I don't get it.
I'll see him in a couple of weeks. We may be looking for somebody to run a school store in the T area. We're building a school store this summer in the T area to sell some school supplies, and notebooks, and binders, and T-shirts from Malden High, and visors, and maybe some candy and things like that. So that's what we're looking for. So if anyone wants to make a proposal, I'd be glad to. Yes, sir.
Are you guys ever gonna like start accepting?
When you say you guys, who do you mean?
I mean
The Browns?
School.
Like his family?
I mean the school.
The school. When you say the school, who is the school? Say it again. Who's the school? We're the school. You're the school. Will we?
Ever start accepting credit cards?
Possibly with a new food service company, I would say that they'll be looking at new ways to collect money. And debit and credit cards is
I
certainly.
recorded all of it. I recorded all of it.
You recorded all of it?
Yeah.
Good.
So you say like it was years ago?
Years ago.
Yes, it was.
Years ago when you were 16.
I remember when I was 16.
I remember when I was 16,
iPhone 4s.
like
I like an iPhone.
a
Are you a
year.
teaching assistant in this classroom? Or what do you?
Wow.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. All right, everybody summarize what we just said.